Hey everybody, and welcome to the Everything with Millennials podcast. I'm Anthony, and this is the podcast where two millennials talk about whatever they want. Joining me as always, we've got Mick Martin. Hey Mick, happy Canada Day.
Welcome to the Everything with Millennials podcast, sponsored by no one.
Yeah,
if you'd like to sponsor us, get a great big bag of money and bring it to the top of a huge roller coaster, and then just throw it off. And hopefully the wind will blow it in our direction.
That didn't work last week. What do you think that's going to work this week?
I found $5 on the ground last week. So
maybe it is working.
That's
Keep
right,
doing that then.
is.
All right, you're gonna say that
every week. Yeah, I'm gonna just
Yep.
ignore whatever it is you say or like throw to me, and I'm just gonna say that. And we're gonna see how rich we get. We're gonna get so rich.
Hey, I didn't see my 250. Where's my cut?
Shit. Yeah, well, man, I don't know how that depends. I guess the money goes where the wind blows, man. I think we're gonna have to write that into the contract.
All right, yeah.
Wait,
And,
no, don't do that.
Yeah, we're gonna write up a contract. Well, so today's Canada Day here in Canada, and so we're recording this episode actually 2 days early. So yeah, because we were both off today, don't have to do that day job thing. So we're recording this.
Yeah. And I got stuff I got to do on the weekend, so
yeah.
We're doing a Canada Day spectacular.
Yeah, so
Canada, partially founded by the Battle of the Plains of Abraham. I think it's due that somebody mentioned that. What? Anyway, go on, Anthony.
Oh, I see you got your Blue Jays on.
Yeah, I got my Blue Jays on.
Blue Jays. I got my Canada, repping that maple leaf.
Repping the maple leaf. I love it. Yeah.
I'm not gonna say what we were talking about before the show.
No, and I'd rather
just one maple leaf, not two.
Just one maple leaf, not two. That's right. That's right. And I'm personally, I don't give a hoot in hell where the Montreal Canadiens are from. I do not want them to win a single game ever. I'm a Maple Leafs fan, and I want Montreal to lose every game and fold as an organization. But that's just how it is, And so I don't care that I'm Canadian. I'm not rooting for them in the Stanley Cup final. As I said, I'm rooting for them to fold as an organization. So back to you, Anthony. What's your opinion on Canada Day and sports? How do you feel about the Montreal Canadiens?
I'm not a huge sports guy. I watch basketball from time to time, but proud to be Canadian. I've actually got some fun Canada Day facts here for you, maybe that you've heard before.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first one is So Canada has the most donut shops per capita. That's probably something that doesn't surprise you because of the amount of Tim Hortons that are all over the place in Canada.
And the maple flavor, baby.
Yeah. I know of a place in Hamilton where we're both from that there's a Tim Hortons directly across the street from another Tim Hortons. Actually, not only that, but there's two Tim Hortons side by side. Upper James and Stonechurch?
Yeah.
They have two Tim Hortons right beside each other. There's one, it's inside of the gas station with the drive-through, and then there's a standalone Tim Hortons with a drive-through. So in the morning, double drive-throughs, like right beside each other. They're not even there's not even another store in between them. It's side by side.
Yeah. There are two Tim Hortons walking distance from my apartment. Three. There's three. There's three. One to the north and two to the south.
Yeah.
And if I go east and west, it takes me a bit. It takes me a bit to get to a Tim Hortons going east and west. You got to go north or south from my location. It's a little disappointing.
Yeah,
I prefer a Tim Hortons to the north, to the south, to the east, and to the west. Walking distance within a block.
I think
that's how I feel protected, safe.
Every Canadian is within walking distance of a Tim Hortons. That's what I feel like.
No, because we got Canadians up in Baffin Island, man. Although I bet you they do have Tim Hortons up there.
Yeah, I live in a small town.
Island. Do they have Tim Hortons in Russia? Do we go all the way across the North Pole into Russia?
No, I think
there's no Siberian Tim Hortons. Not one. Are you sure?
Oh, I don't know.
Don't say this if you're not sure.
I know there's Tim Hortons in the Philippines.
Sued by the Siberian people. What?
There's a Tim Hortons in the Philippines.
There is?
Yeah, there is. It's
how
funny.
Just the one?
I don't know how many.
Serve donuts and ice caps?
They serve everything pretty much.
Wow.
It's hilarious. Cool. So I know, I don't know what other countries have them. I know the States do. We kind of poured over
Brazil.
Into the States.
Didn't Brazil buy Tim Hortons from us though? They bought. Isn't it a Brazilian company now that owns Tim Hortons or something?
No
I
idea.
think so.
But if
Anderson Silva bought Tim Hortons. I'm pretty
I think
sure.
if Brazil bought Tim Hortons, then I think the coffee might taste better.
You don't like their coffee?
No, so
Yeah, it's not the best, I
I find it
guess.
very
It's okay.
inconsistent. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good.
Mm. Oh man, I'll tell you what is consistent. They got lineups around those
Oh yeah,
mother
you know what?
effers
Because
every
it's
day.
cheap and convenient. And
It
that's
is
kind
cheap and
of
convenient
it used to be really good, but now
and
it's kind
trusted. I mean, whether or
yeah.
not you find it good, like super good every day, you know the milk won't be bad, Charlie Murphy. Like you know that
Charlie
it's,
Murphy.
you know what I'm saying though. You know that it's
Yeah.
not gonna like curdle or like mess you up or
Yeah.
whatever, right? It's
I
gonna
guess it's good
be
enough, and people who grew up with it or who have it every day, they just love it. You know, like
yeah, that's right.
that's the
Yeah,
thing.
I
People
mean,
who
dude,
don't want to change their routine.
if you're in this for coffee and cigarettes, if you're in this world and those are the things that make you happy, I think that Tim Hortons coffee goes fairly well with a cigarette. Are we allowed to say that?
You can say whatever
I
you
guess we
want.
can say whatever we want, right? Yeah. I probably
Yeah.
shouldn't say that though, because cigarettes are
Now
bad.
you can say whatever you want
But
until Apple tells us no. Well, moving on
yeah.
to the next thing. This is kind of funny. 77% of maple syrup produced in the entire world is made in Quebec. Did you know that one?
Hoorah! I think that that's a wonderful thing to hear, and I hope. And you know what? I wonder where the rest of it's coming from. I don't see why we couldn't produce the rest right here in Ontario.
Yeah, so we get 100%. So we got that monopoly
Yeah,
on the
like
maple
yeah,
syrup. We got
70%. Did
we're
you
really
hear about that robbery a little while ago, dude? The the maple syrup like robbery out of Quebec.
no. See, but that makes sense. I believe that.
Yeah, there was people who tried to like steal gallons of maple syrup.
Yeah,
Thieves, I guess.
yeah.
I
They
presumed that
actually
they were going to sell it on the black market, but
yeah they hoard, like basically they have a supply. They make it and then they keep a lot of it. I don't know why.
who does? The
Canada.
people who oh we because we need it, man. We have maple flavor on whatever we want. We have maple flavored ice cream. We have maple flavored pizza. We have
Yeah,
maple
maple
flavored
bacon.
pineapple. Yeah, we have maple flavored like Pam coconut oil. We have maple flavored books about writing fiction. It's nuts. Um, I don't know. It's nuts. It's pretty
Yeah.
great. It's a goddamn maple fueled paradise. Except when
So
the fucking
so
Canadians are
next
winning.
thing, do you know Canada is the only country that puts milk in bags?
The only country? Nobody else does it?
Nope.
Are you
That's just
sure?
us. Yeah, man.
There's a lot of countries. Okay, fair enough.
Well, if you
I mean,
cause
I guess we discovered it,
no,
and
you know
so
it's
it's
funny
ours. It's ours.
because we like actually like
Don't you
for us
take this from
it's
us.
super normal, but if you go anywhere around the world and you say, "Hey, we put our milk in bags," it's like that's a strictly Canadian thing. Like uh the states, they're all come in cartons and stuff, you know?
I know, yeah, they come in cartons. They prefer to cut down trees than,
Yeah.
I guess, whatever the process is to make bags. Um, well, I mean, I don't know. All I can
Okay.
say is that I like the milk out of a bag
Oh
or
yeah.
out of a carton
And the
or
really good thing about Canadian dairy, there's no hormones in any of it.
oh,
Same with
really?
yeah, exactly. So
Oh
yeah,
man,
Canada
so
has
I'm
really
missing out on all those
strict.
hormones. So do I have like less hormones than I need then?
No, you're good. You get the
Oh,
natural amount, no
so I
extra.
don't have an
Yeah,
excuse.
those are things that you don't want in your milk.
Oh,
So now moving on to there's a lot of places in Canada that have funny names.
yeah, like moose jaw,
Yeah, no, yeah. So there's those, but there's really other funny ones. So here
moose
I've got
factory,
a list here of
where
some
all the
really
moose
funny
in the
ones.
world come from. Okay, what's your list?
So I've got one here. So first one is Blow Me Down. That's a place in Newfoundland.
You're fucking with me.
No, that's a real one. So and the next one is Nameless Cove. That's in Newfoundland. And so the story there is
What
it's
are
called
they
Nameless
doing?
Cove. It used to be called Flowers Cove, but another town stole the name. They registered it, and then they told them they had to come up with a new one. So they named it Nameless Cove, just because someone
Okay,
registered a name before they did.
that's
These get better.
outrageous, man.
The next one is a Spread Eagle, and this is also in Newfoundland. uh, and so Spread Eagle is actually located near Conception Bay. And Spread Eagle has a great
Conception Bay.
yes, Conception Bay, and Spread Eagle has a great view of Dildo Arm. And that leads me to the last one I have, Dildo Newfoundland. So actually kind of the trend here is
Are they
they're all
Did they
these are real
seriously do that?
towns.
I don't believe you.
Like I said, well, check this out. Look, and I'll show you.
Okay, you know what? I do believe you.
There's the sign for the town.
Did they actually name themselves? Like, are they just like sophomorically naming themselves? You know what I mean? Is this how they roll? They pick little like funny, weird sex things and name their cities.
Yeah, it's pretty funny that they do that.
Like, is that intentionally though, or like, is there like a Mr. Dildo who like saved
yeah, you know what?
some kids from a burning building
Who knows?
locally?
It could be
Right? Like, I
from
don't know. Like Spread Eagle. Like maybe it was man, I don't even know how you what the fuck Spread Eagle.
yeah.
Jesus. There's
Yeah,
no way that that's something else. There's just no way.
Well, it could
Operation
be
Spread
Eagle, right? Like
and maybe the Nazis landed there and ran around, and that was Operation Spread Eagle, and they fucking shot him or something. I don't know.
And then here's one last thing. I guess that's all the names I have, but here's something I don't know. We're the only I guess country that has. I'll show you this here. It's a license plate shaped like a polar bear in the Northwest Territories.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Have you ever seen that?
I think that's a good compromise. We've moved in on their territory. Human beings have, well, other than like the Inuit, like other than people who live up there, I guess who know how to like naturally live up there. I don't think most of us have. Like, what do we do? That's polar bear land, man. Yeah, the Aurora Borealis is pretty, but goddamn, it's far.
Yeah, so those are all the kind of, I
I'm
guess,
just kidding.
interesting Canada facts
I
that I've
love-
got for you,
yeah,
and just in celebration of Canada Day today. And those are pretty fun, I thought. Especially the names for the places.
Yeah, they are pretty fun, and I like that the polar bear shaped.
Yeah.
It's a fair compromise.
I guess Canada knows how to
props.
have fun. You know, it's like we have we have donuts. We name places funny things, and we can shape our license plates however we want.
Yeah, that's right. But okay, now we also have to talk about because Canada is, I guess, getting canceled. I'm not sure if you heard about that because of the missing. Like they found a lot of like children, like it's horrible. They found murdered children, like around those. Around those schools, and that's part of Canada's legacy too. So it's like all this good and fun stuff, but yeah, that's like sick and crazy. Like sometimes I think maybe we need like a second Canadian Republic, like a whole new Canada. I don't know, maybe that's crazy, but just like a second, because republics, we're not a monarchy exactly. Well, we sort of have a queen, but I'm just saying, like, if we had like a second Canadian Republic, we could maybe, I don't know, make things right in like build a new country from the ground up or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's maybe I'm being silly.
No, that's just you coming in with your politics. You're kind of like me. Well, I will relate everything, as we'll see later
to technology, but you can't relate
I'll...
this to technology. Like this is a story of like horror and nightmares. But go ahead, Anthony. Why don't you give it a try?
No, I'm not gonna touch it there. Sad things are sad things, and I like to make light of situations, but not sad things, you know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah, that's all the Canada Day stuff. So today's episode, we're gonna kind of. I'm trying to transition into the fun things.
Yeah. All right, let's go. We're gonna go back to the fun stuff.
Yeah. So,
but just a little recognition there, though, that did happen,
for sure.
And that's part of the history. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Well.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, because you can't ignore it when it's like. You can't ignore it ever. You should never ignore it, but especially when it happens so close to the day, like that they make these discoveries. Like, it's just going to be on your mind, you know. Like it's just there. There's no getting around it. So anyway, okay. What are we on to next, my friend?
So today's episode, we're going to talk a little about I got some dating stories. So like your Tinder, your Bumbles, and all that kind of stuff, and kind of all the stories that have to relate
dating
with
in Canada.
Dating and stuff. Yeah.
What it's like to date Canadians.
Yeah, what it's like to date Canadians.
We're the best. We're awesome at everything. Cool. Pretty.
And then of course, we're gonna tie it to Loki, the thing that we kind of talk about every week.
Matt. Yeah, of course. Because Loki, what is Loki dating himself? What does that qualify as? I'm
Exactly.
sure there's a word for it because it's probably been done before in fiction. But I consider it basically just like masturbation. It's pretty much like that's like that. It's you. It's not somebody
Yeah,
else.
but they're not there yet. Um,
What
but
do you
I
mean?
just want to say, if you haven't seen that newest Loki episode, so spoilers. I kind of forgot to say that last week, and we just totally
Yeah,
dove
it's not
headfirst.
it's not if it's you, literally you, not the female. Like it's you. Like that's
Okay,
Loki. That's
so
like
let's talk. Let's talk about that
I don't
episode.
know.
So basically, so what I got from the episode is if you hook up with yourself, the universe ends or the multiverse ends because you see the.
No, you just
Did you see? Because
Nexus thing or
the
whatever.
Nexus event basically they only found them because there was a crazy Nexus event that was about to happen and it was spiking, and it's because they were sitting next to each other and they were like holding hands and then like something was about to happen,
They were
but
about to
then the
absolutely
TVA
plow the
stepped
hell
in.
out of each other is what they were going to do.
You know what? They kind of keep hinting at this kind of stuff, but like it's to me it's a little off-putting because it's like himself. Also, it's like
Well, yeah,
and
it's supposed to be off-putting. It's really messed up. Owen Wilson even called him out on it. He
yeah, it's
called him
like
out. He was like, are you like into her? Is she into you?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what
yeah,
is this, you
yeah,
narcissist?
yeah,
And by the way, I predicted this exact thing last week. I said he was the ultimate narcissist, and therefore there is no more perfect person in all the multiverse
yeah.
for Loki to be with.
It just seems like
Right?
some sort of weird new kind of incest.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe it is though. I mean, that's pretty gross. If it is, then
Because
yeah, that's
like
really gross.
it's like
But it's
you
not because it's
see you think of it one way where it's like you touching yourself. I think of it a different way because it's you but
and
born as a female and
born
from
as a
another
female.
universe. So you're technically like brother and sister or cousin or that kind of
Like you're
relationship.
somehow
Oh,
related, but I
yeah,
don't know
because
that. No, but
you're
hold
not
on.
exactly you, but it's someone that
So are
like
you
you.
saying your
Just like
genetics are the same and across the multiverse? Like, for example,
well, slightly
like
different because
was slightly different
she has
because
the
yeah. So
female
how far
genes,
does the difference go back down now? Like
but it's
Odin, she said she didn't have a Frigga. So doesn't that mean she's got a whole different mom and dad?
but no,
Not
but
an alternate universe version
her
of
birth parents are the same, right? She's also a frost giant,
she's a frost giant. Oh well,
and
frost giants I feel
the only
are
difference between them is
disgusting creatures anyway. Let them do whatever they
she was
want.
born a female and he was born male, but it's still the same person. But then they had different lives, so that's why their personalities differ so much.
Frost giants are gross. I don't like them. But they're not frost giants. They're like tricky, like shapeshifter thingers. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's not okay for them to hook up. I feel like it doesn't matter though. I feel like they can't possibly produce a baby, can they?
They probably could, but I feel like Disney,
How?
because Disney
Well, could
owns.
you okay, could you clone yourself, make yourself into a lady, and then do yourself and make a baby? And what the hell would happen? Because
Uh,
okay, presume we can clone people, right? That's a thing,
yep.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, so that can happen. Okay, so this could happen. I bet you this has happened.
but I bet you wouldn't want that to happen because it's like
No, I
so
guess I wouldn't.
you would come up with like a extremely messed up deformed baby because there wouldn't be enough genetic diversity in the two DNAs to make a human that doesn't have defects.
Are you sure? Is
Yes,
that how that works?
yes. So that's why you don't
Huh.
breed with your cousin or your sister because your DNA is too close, and then when it is, there's not enough diversity in the DNA uh,
Well,
to
yeah,
create
I
a
guess I knew
healthy.
that
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the
because if
reason
you
why.
have kids, they tend to be
Yeah,
something's wrong with them.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's something's wrong with them. That's why you
yeah,
don't do that. Yeah.
yeah, and all that stuff is just gross, and I
And
think we're like
that's why Loki
naturally
can't
made
date
to
Sylvie.
revile. Pardon me?
I said so that's why Loki can't date Sylvie. They could be best
Yeah,
friends.
I guess. Well, okay. We're naturally made to also like revile the idea of like sleeping with somebody in our own family, right? And like I think that's a good thing. And I guess that's because of the like evolutionary consequences. Is that okay? So,
Yeah. And you know what?
but hold on. I don't know how related they are. They're the same person, but they're not actually like they're from a different universe.
yeah.
I don't know. Like
No, but that's like
I
if
feel like there's got to be some genetic diversity between fucking universes.
well
No,
the difference would be that she has female
no, but
chromosomes
that's
and
not the only difference. That can't be the only difference between them genetically. They have different powers. She has enchantress powers.
Well,
He has.
because Loki had Frigga, so he learned that magic.
So he learned cool magic, and
She learned
she
enchantment magic from wherever she learned that.
maybe it was
They're
maybe
different
her
people.
mom
They
is
are
at
different
Mora.
people, but
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're
base
different, but they're
genetics,
the
they're
same.
almost
I
the
don't.
same.
No, I don't think you can say they have the same genetics.
All right, let's do a DNA test. We'll call Maury.
Yeah, we'll have to do a DNA test. But they're
Let's call
gods. What are
Maury.
gods' genetics? Like, are you? I bet you Loki has transformed into two beings and had sex with himself before.
Yeah,
Like in the
maybe.
myths, Loki turned into a horse, right? Remember, we read this. In the myths, Loki turned into a horse, a female
And
horse,
then he
and
gave
had
birth to
and
a. Then he gave
and
birth to a
had sex
wolf.
with a male horse. No, and gave birth to the horse that Odin then rode for the rest of Odin's career,
Yeah,
and it was a great horse apparently.
but you
So
know
like
why?
Loki
Sorry,
does
go
what
ahead.
Loki wants to do. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Okay, I
yeah,
100% agree with you.
I
If
think they got
it,
chemistry.
yeah, but you know, at the end of the day, you know why none of that's gonna happen?
Why?
Disney.
Oh yeah,
Disney
true.
won't do any of this, right? Like they might
Yeah.
hint at it, and I think that's as far as we'll get with that kind of thing. But, or if they do go there a little bit, they'll be like, "Oh, you can't because the world or the multiverse will explode," just like they shown the Spike when they were getting really close, right?
Well, did you see the post-credit scene
I did
with the little
into the
Loki
Loki
crew?
verse.
Loki. Yeah,
That's what I'm
the
calling
little
it.
Loki crew. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we
So,
had old man Loki, which is pretty much the OG Loki with his OG outfit, right?
yeah, I
With
love that. That
with the
was
cloth
hilarious.
green
And there
and
was a black
yellow.
dude as Thor.
Is that who? I'm not sure who that was. He's supposed to
Well,
be Black Thor.
I presume he had Mjolnir
He
or
had
something
yeah
that looked just
yeah
like Mjolnir.
yeah,
Um,
and then we had
and I think
Kid
that there's a
Loki,
parallel in the comics. And there's a kid Loki. Yeah,
and my favorite alligator Loki.
I did not see the alligator.
The kid was holding the alligator, and he had the
Oh, I didn't
horns.
notice it.
So you know that
I didn't
reminds me
notice
of
the alligator Loki.
remember the frog Thor? There was a
Yes,
Thor.
I do. Like the time I turned my brother into a frog, 'twas indeed
Yeah, there's
hilarious.
a online you can see there's like a cartoon version, or I think it's from the comics, cartoon version of Thor, but he's a frog.
Well, poor Thor. Yeah, that's right. He became a frog. Loki's turned him into all kinds of stuff. It's pretty funny. I think Loki is actually a funny dude,
Yeah.
except when he's doing the murder and stuff. Like one thing about the show that it really does not seem like the Loki that was enjoying tearing people's eyeballs out
Yeah.
in the Avengers movie, right? And I get that they went to some lengths to redeem him, to show him,
Oh yeah, for sure.
the Loki that he became or whatever. But I also think that like I was kind of looking forward to seeing like a more vicious Loki.
Yeah, I
Um,
think that Loki's done with. We're gonna get like a nicer, hero-y Loki, although still mischievous.
I guess, yeah. But I mean, you
Yeah.
don't get to like okay, Loki though is technically irredeemable, right? You don't get to fucking terrorize New York City with an alien invasion and then be like, well, like come on, man.
Yeah.
There's no you don't get forgiven
Yeah, but in
for
the
that
first
kind of shit.
timeline,
Like period.
over time, he became a better Loki, And then in the Loki show, they pretty much just caught him up by showing him all the Avengers movie.
Yeah, and so now we're kind of supposed to see him as the Avenger movie Loki, but I would
Yeah,
still rather see him as like
yeah,
filled with glorious purpose,
yeah,
ready to fucking go Loki.
yeah. It's like last week he was ripping out a guy's eye in like Germany. Now he's like saving the multiverse.
Yeah, but I mean that's to be fair, Loki's chaotic and
Yeah,
he does sort of whatever he pleases. He, she, whatever Loki is. The god of mischief does as the god of mischief will, I suppose. But I don't know. Like he got zapped with that stick, and then he went down to that place, and I don't know how I feel about that because now I
yeah.
feel like Owen Wilson's probably in some other place too,
And everyone else they ever
going,
zapped are
"Whoa."
all so to get pruned. We just thought meant to die, but now being pruned looks like it sends you into like some sort of pocket universe. And if you look in the
I
background
hope
of
it's
that,
the Jeff Goldblum universe. I hope
the
that's
universe
where
where
he
they
is.
were, it looks like a post like apocalyptic Avengers 2012. Because if you look in the background, you can actually see the Avengers Tower like all in ruins. When the three Lokis are standing there, you actually see the Avengers
Really?
Tower. Yeah,
Shoot, I haven't
yeah,
seen. I
yeah.
haven't looked at this post-credit scene in the kind of detail that you have. Wow.
Yeah, I sit there and I like stare at everything and I go, what is this? So if you look in the back there, you can kind of see the. Yeah, I go down the rabbit hole deep on these things sometimes.
Good for you.
Yeah. So yeah, check that
Cool,
out. I
cool.
know you're probably gonna watch it again, but
Yeah, we were talking about Loki. Yeah, and yeah, I guess he is gonna do some creepy hookup stuff, and that's gonna create a Nexus event. Maybe the two of them give birth to the sacred timeline.
oh man, it's not. I don't think it'll get that twisted.
Maybe they give birth to Kang.
I don't know. Yeah, and that leads to like, did you see that coming? The keepers are fake. I saw that coming from like a mile away.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
It
the
it
moment they
was
showed
a
them at the start of the episode, I was like, well, they're not special anymore, so they're
yeah,
probably gonna kill them.
yeah. It was like a Wizard of Oz kind of moment. They lifted the
Yeah,
curtain
it
and they saw
was.
the guy controlling the Zordon head.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw kind of that's awesome. Then they like chopped off his head, and then they were just like laughing at them and the robots, and they found out they were robots. But you know, one
Yeah.
thing that I still don't know yet, or we still don't know, if Renslayer is in on it or not, because you couldn't tell if she was surprised that they were robots. You know?
Yeah, well, that's. I was thinking that perhaps this show was going to try to make a larger point about the steady pace of bureaucracy. How it, how once you start sort of doing something, and it gets this institutional momentum, you just keep doing it, and it
Yeah,
becomes a
yeah,
self-sustaining machine. So you
yeah,
forget what the original reason was, but you just sort of keep
yeah.
going on and on and on as you are, and whether it's pruning timelines or having a nuke silo that you maintain, regardless of the sort of situation on the planet, and regardless of whether or not you can use those weapons, or whether you, I don't know. Ah, fuck. I think that's enough examples. Anyway,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
like I said last week, I think it's going to be either a Loki variant pulling the strings, or it's going to be most likely Kang. It has to be Kang. Like, there's more things that point to Kang being in control of the
Yeah, but
TVA than
but
anything
people did
else.
that for Mephisto, and people did that for
Yeah,
Quicksilver, and it was a boner joke. So
but then what
boner
would
me
your
once, shame on you. Boner me twice, shame on moi.
theory then on what's going on? You think it's just a
I
machine, a
already gave it. I
well-oiled
think it's the
machine
Willow
that's
machine maintaining itself. I think that's a possibility. Or it's a Loki, like you said before, like it was some Loki from somewheres.
President
Or
Loki?
yeah, maybe it's President Loki. Because we
Have you
saw
seen
that
the
picture of
trailer?
President Loki.
Yep,
Yeah, in the
yep,
trailer. I
yep.
remember that.
And that
And he's
was in
standing there all like
yeah, and that
all
was in
presidential.
a multiverse where it's like it looks apocalyptic as well.
Yeah,
so
apocalyptic. Yeah,
so
yeah.
it looks like that'll be the next episode next week with President Loki. You get the Loki crew in the Loki verse. So is this a pocket universe that just contains all Lokis?
I
That's what it
mean, I
kind of
don't
seems like.
know.
So now we'll have like a real fun episode next week where we'll just see different variants of
Loki,
Loki.
Loki, 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 Loki everywhere. So every variant goes to its own little variant hell where
Well, it seems like
they're
all Lokis are there now. Like they're
yeah,
in
so
so their
maybe that
hell
means that
is
if like
2012.
no, but hold on. What if like you zap Loki or you zap Owen Wilson and then just Owen Wilson goes to this place full of other Owen Wilsons, right? And he's
No,
like, wow. And they're like, wow.
and
And
they're
it's
all
just
trying
a
to buy
world
jet
of
skis, but
yeah,
they
and they're all
can't.
trying to buy,
But
but
they
they
can't,
can't.
and they can't get approved for the financing, so they keep getting rejected over and over, and they can't buy a jet ski. That's
I mean, that's a
Mobius's
very particular
personal hell.
form of hell. Yeah, like to just have you keep arriving. Nobody knew. It's just you exactly
You
yourself.
different yous,
Different
variants of
yous, just
yous.
variants of
That would
you
be that
just
would be
keep
entertaining to me.
crashing into this world. Ah, yeah, yeah. You guys would have a good time. I don't know. I'd be all miserable. I'd be like, what are we doing here? Existential this and that.
But I'd be like,
Um,
stay away from me, female me. I know what's in your head, but I'm not trying to blow up the multiverse. I wanted
I
that
would
Nexus event.
I would probably blow up the multiverse. I don't give a shit. Although no, female me would be gross.
You don't know.
You
Have you ever
never
seen that
know.
app that you can actually run like people's faces in, and then it changes the genders?
No.
It's
I'm sure
hilarious.
it's out there though.
It's
I'm sure
hilarious.
it's out there.
There's a
Yeah.
whole bunch of like TikToks where
Oh wait, yes, I have seen this.
yeah,
I
where
know a
people are like,
girl.
what? Where like would I
who showed
smash
me.
my friends and then they run all their friends through them and they go and they rate their like
Yeah.
their friends as like the opposite gender. Like
My
I actually
buddy's little
did.
sister showed me that, and I was like, "You are much more attractive as a man," and she got
I
pretty upset.
I ran. There's a
It
picture of me,
was funny.
my friends Hubert, and my friend Adam, and I
Funny to
ran
make people upset.
all three of us together. I ran it through the thing, and it made all of us women. It was hilarious.
Yeah, who was the prettiest?
I don't know. It just made me into my sister though.
Yeah,
Adam and Hubert
yeah,
don't have sisters, so
yeah.
I
It's
guess that's what their
gross.
sisters would look like. But Hubert, not bad.
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean,
Yeah,
I think Loki should hook up with himself, and I think we should, damn the consequences. TV has to show us new things. We already had Game of Thrones, which showed a lot of really
yeah.
gross
I guess
weirdness.
if he wants to date himself, he can date himself at the cost of the multiverse.
Yeah,
Is that the issue that Doctor Strange has to fix in the next Doctor
I am
Strange movie,
looking for
Multiverse
Doctor
of Madness?
Strange and Loki to get a good rematch in. Like Loki kind of got besmirched by Doctor Strange.
Oh
He
yeah, I
got
was
he,
falling for
for
30
30
minutes.
minutes. Yeah, like you're Loki though. You're the
Yeah,
god
so
of mischief.
at
He's
the
a
end of
little. He's a
Loki,
doctor. He's a like. Are you serious? Like who wrote that? Was it a doctor? Probably. No, wait. It was Taika Waititi. Maybe he's a doctor.
yeah,
I don't
Loki
know.
and Sylvie will kiss at the end, and that will
Taika
start
White.
the Multiverse of Madness. That's the
Taika
problem.
Waititi. How
Taika
do you
Waititi.
say?
Taika
Is it
Waititi. That's his name.
that Taika?
Taika
Taika Waititi.
Waititi.
Waititi. This is not that hard. I should not be having such a hard time with this. Taika Waititi. Okay. Anyway,
So yeah, if Loki dates Sylvie, that I guess that was our jumping off point for our kind of the stories we're going to talk about today. So basically, the theme after all this Loki
stories you're
stuff
going to talk about. Yeah.
uh,
Okay. Tell us
is,
dating
is the
stories,
is the
Anthony.
dating stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've just got a couple of stories here, and they're kind of some of them are kind of funny. I think most of them are kind of funny and entertaining.
Okay.
Uh,
So you was on top of this squirrel, right? And then all of a sudden,
so the
no,
first thing
what's
here
the
I've
story?
got
What's the
is
story?
this. I guess like I said, you like to do everything or actually relate everything to kind of politics, and I'll relate everything to technology. So the first story kind of relates to technology in a way. So it says here Tesla Model 3 and S are best wingman in dating apps, says study. So this study here, what they did was they went on some dating apps, so like Bumble and Tinder, and they posted themselves or people with like Teslas, and so they did A/B testing. So they did one set with just them, and then one set with them and a Tesla, right? So, like showing and then they found out that you actually got more swipes or matches if you owned or looked like you owned a Tesla. So let's see around. Uh, and then if you look here, let's see.
Well, I guess that's good for Tesla owners.
Yeah, so you can see actually
I'm very
on
happy
average,
for
men
you.
got 34% swipes. So they did a test of 5,000
Shania.
swipes, and women got what was the number? 56% of the 5,000 swipes, and men only got about 7%. But with the Tesla in the dating app, you can see that it positively affected the men by 34%. And it's funny, the women only by 3%. So it actually
Oh,
boosted a
okay.
lot more for guys. So uh,
Yeah.
they're showing
Yeah.
that
Men aren't particularly concerned what kind of a car a
yeah,
woman drives,
yeah, and
I
and
guess.
usually the dating app is more in favor of the women or women in general because you can see that um, they got you can if you're as a woman 56% of the time when you swipe that's 50-50. That's
Well,
better than
because
50-50.
I think because it shows if you have a Tesla, I think that it shows the lady that you have, a kind heart and a good soul, and
Or some of
that
them are
you like
just gold
and that you
diggers.
like poetry and you love candles and flowers and like little, soy sauce,
I just kind of find that
soybeans,
funny.
soy in general.
And another interesting fact here. So they showed what other cars, if you were in the dating app with you, got you the best results. So Tesla, Aston Martin, Porsche, Land Rover, Audi were some of the best among men, and kind of the same ones among women. And it's funny, the car that you don't want to be standing beside or look like you own on a dating app is a Subaru.
Gremlin.
Is Subaru.
Subaru.
Any Subaru got negative 31%.
Why?
I don't know. That's just kind of
Subarus are good cars.
yeah, they are. I agree, good cars. But if you
Why are people so crazy? Subaru, fuck them.
Swipe left.
Mate with anyone who drives a Subaru.
If you own a Subaru, just don't have that car on your dating profile. Yeah. So yeah, this is basically having a Tesla on your dating app is a really good wingman.
Even from getting laid. Okay, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's fair to the Subaru, but fair enough to the Aston Martin, man. Fair enough to the Aston Martin.
Yeah.
I mean, James Bond drove that car for a long time. It's a pretty awesome car. It's my dream car personally, or a Tesla.
Yeah.
But Aston Martin's, man, ejector seat, the whole business. You never know when the day could end.
What about for people that are have a Tesla already and they want to find someone else that have a Tesla?
I think that's a mess. I think that's you two alike, and you're not gonna you have to be pieces of each other's puzzle. You can't just be the same piece.
You're trying to bond over, I guess, over something you have in common, right? Like if you match with somebody.
I suppose that's a little bit more logical than what I said.
But I've got you on that one. So check this out. There's coming soon.
Well, you got me on a lot of things.
Coming soon is a dating app
frequently
just for Tesla owners.
Okay, well.
So this is just like Bumble or whatever. You sign up. This app is not out yet, but if you have a Tesla, you can actually sign up right now for early access, and they'll let you know when the app is out. So basically, you have to prove that you have a Tesla. I don't know, you give your VIN or whatever, and then you can start swiping on only people that have Teslas. And then if you match, you can start talking. And I guess you do already have that commonality of owning the same kind of car.
Tesla? Can you do this through your
in
Teslas?
The car? That would be amazing.
Tesla, find me a woman. Tesla,
it just kind of reminds me of like Christian Mingle, J-Date. It's you already have that nice thing.
Man for the evening.
You already have that thing in common, right? So that's kind of the jumping off point. And I guess that's the same kind of thinking about this Tesla app for dating, right? I just find it funny. Like there's a dating app now for like every niche market. It's like, do you like the only yellow crayons? Try this dating app. It's called Yellow Crayon.
Okay. What? Really? I mean,
no, I don't know.
I love yellow crayons.
I'm just making that last one up, but I just
what
found
the
it
fuck?
funny.
All right, fine. You just crush my dreams some more. What else you got?
Oh, here's another funny one. I guess I'm just picking kind of funny dating stories now. So check out this one. So woman claims stinky Tinder date tried to sue her for turning sex down. So I'll give you kind of the gist of this story. This girl matched with a guy on Tinder, and then they were going to hook up, right? So the girl goes back to the guy's place, and the guy pulls down his pants, and then he had like dookie stains and his like junk smelled. So the girl was like, no, we're not going to do this anymore. So she left. She got out, right? This girl, she's got
wait,
podcast.
Is this just a he said she said thing? Did she just okay? So
no,
hold on.
This happened. So you'll see why the guy tried to sue her. So he basically,
are you gonna play this video or are you just
no? This is it's like it was something that was on. She has a podcast herself, and she has a TikTok. So she kind of explained this
the
stuff.
ultimate indicator of honesty.
No, so you'll see this. So basically, she got out there, right, and then she talked about it on her podcast, and then.
Okay, the individual in question is gross, obviously, and it's embarrassing. And this whole thing is
this was years ago, right? So then, like more recently, she started talking about it on her podcast, and that guy actually heard her podcast, and then sent a cease and desist letter to this girl to stop talking about him. Because it's funny because he was a law student, so I guess he's just using his lawyer knowledge to intimidate this girl. But this guy tried to sue her many times, but he couldn't actually sue her because she told the story many times, but she never said his name or any personal information. So
she didn't.
No.
Oh, that's different. Then it's just a story. Then it's just a funny story.
The guy knows that it's about him. and he wanted her to stop telling the story. So she said it on her
Well,
podcast.
too fucking
And
bad, man. Like, okay, like hold on. If you know it's about you, then you know you did that shit.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Don't show up to have like it's fucking disrespectful to show up somewhere with dookie stains all over your goddamn pants and expect sex. Like, what the fuck are you doing,
I
man?
know, right?
Like, okay, so you're gonna have to eat that one. You're gonna have to eat that one.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. For
there's
sure.
some things in this life that people just don't let you live down.
You just move
I know
on.
it.
You move on.
Um,
Pretend it's not you. That was
right,
not me. Don't
like
sue.
whatever the fuck. Yeah,
Suing
like
is
it's
saying,
like
yeah, that was me.
like you fucked up, buddy. You know, you could apologize maybe, and if you feel like being like, listen, it really bothers me when you do this. I feel very, horrible about what happened and blah blah blah. Maybe send her some flowers or just be like, listen, like
No, you just forget about it,
I
right?
really screwed this up. Well, yeah, but she's obviously not forgetting about you. And if you want a person to stop like ragging on you in public, I don't know that the best way to do it is just be like, I'm going to lawyer your ass down right to the knees, because like when you go the lawyer route, then they're like, bitch, motherfucker, you showed up with dookie stains all over your dick. Like, what, like you can't just come in
And
here
that,
with your lawyer shit. Like
to
that's
me,
just going to egg somebody on. It's tactically an error, Anthony.
yeah, and suing is saying, yes, that was me. Why do you want come out and say it was you, basically?
I guess I don't really know. I don't know the
I guess
situation.
he was just mad that he didn't get any that day and forgot to take a shower.
Okay, I've taken many shits in my life. There is no occasion where I've walking out with like Duke stains. Like I've been. I mean, I've drank a lot of booze, and that it doesn't come up. It's not. I don't know. Like it's not that difficult to just keep poop stains away from your genital area. I don't got a lot of sympathy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ugh,
You just gotta take the L's, man, as they come. There's a lot of
like
those
think about it if it was the other way around. Think about it if you showed up and there was a girl and she had like dookie stains and stuff on her panties. Like, okay, that is gross stuff, and you're not living that down, and you're probably going to talk about this stuff with your friends or whatever, because it's like it's hard. It's you don't always go to the Alps. You don't always go to Mount Everest. There's not a lot of unique things you're going to see in this life. That's a unique ass thing. Gross, unique. Anyway, all right. Next subject before I'm sure I'm putting my foot in my mouth, and that
well,
somebody's
dating's hard,
gonna
like, and
shoot me.
even
Yes.
dating
Oh,
online
yeah.
is hard. All that's kind of hard. Like I
It
said,
is very
you
hard.
got to
I
take the
have
L's,
total
because
sympathy.
as a male on online dating, you're gonna take a lot of L's, right? Like girls will ghost you, that kind of stuff will happen.
Oh,
You
yeah.
forget to take a shower. You just got to kind of move on. And sometimes you got to cope with that mental stress that brings, right? So in India, they actually on Tinder India, they actually offer free access to therapists, emotional wellness content right in the app. So like if you're feeling
This is why you were rejected 10,000
if you're feeling
times.
because like if you've ever been on like a dating app, like you'll swipe like maybe 1,000. Like I said, you'll only 7% of those swipes will land. So out of 5,000, you'll only get so many, right? So it can kind of get overwhelming when there's no one who's matching with you, right? So
Yeah.
Tinder India offers free access to
Wish I lived in
therapists.
France.
So right in the app, you can actually do therapy sessions. So you can see here this kind of a screenshot from the app.
What?
You can
Oh my!
so if you're feeling overwhelmed, I think this is
Isn't
great.
this a sign? But it's a sign that it's a problem.
It is. But dating in general is hard, Like even in real life, you go up to a girl in a bar, you're like, "Hey, how you doing?" She says, "Screw you," right?
Yeah.
That could get to you over
Yeah,
time.
women seem to like
And that's in
you
person.
for their own reasons.
People online will be even more mean to you, Imagine you match with a girl and the girl says, "Oh, I didn't mean to match with you," and then like if you just get lots of
I've
negative
had that
experience,
quite a few times.
yeah, you get a lot of negative experiences. So I think this is awesome. Like I think we should bring this over to
Girls
like,
are always like, "Oh my god, I thought you said something funny in your profile, and then I matched with you, and then I realized like, what am I doing?"
yeah, but like
It's not
imagine
funny,
if you
Anthony.
could talk to a professional therapist and kind of just talk through.
I don't want to share this humiliation with doctors.
No, but if
So,
you
like
wanted
the
to, you
doctors,
could.
I know, but you know that the Tinder therapist is like laughing at
No,
people
but
and
they
shit like
actually
that.
have
Yeah,
like
they copy and
registered.
paste everything you say to them and send it to their
No, but
friends.
like
Okay,
if you
like almost fucking immediately. Like I would be willing to bet
no, like
not a full minute goes by
th-
one time before your problem that your deep personal sadness is used for the entertainment of another
no,
individual
they have
who work.
registered therapists, right? And when you go to
Mm-hmm.
talk to a therapist or a counselor, they're legally bound to not tell anything that you say to them to anyone else, right? So they have these kind of people on staff. I'm
Yeah.
sure they would have more professional people than just have like random people pretend to be therapists.
Marijuana's been illegal for most of my life, and I've smoked weed for, well, not most of my life, but fair portions of it. And I gotta say, the legality was never really the issue. What the issue was access to the plant and access to other people who would commiserate with me and sort of enjoy a bowl or a toke. I cannot imagine that therapists don't get together, and maybe they change the names. Probably when they're drinking, they don't. Like, I just the people really really strongly believe in this veil of doctor patient confidentiality and stuff like that. I think that these ideas are driven into us by heroes on television shows that would never betray their patients and like get tortured and still don't release their secrets. Like that is not reality. In reality, people are cruel and people will talk mad shit about people that they shouldn't. I'm sorry but that's what I think. Like, you ever go to like I've been to enough comedy clubs. I've been to enough bars with drunk people. I've seen, I don't know. I, I've just seen people talk a lot of shit. That's all I'm saying, right? And like, uh, I just can't imagine that therapists and doctors are somehow above that or immune to it. I just, maybe, maybe they are. Maybe they are, but I fucking doubt it.
I think if you're getting into a job like that, I don't know. I just think about if I get into a job like that, that's part of my job. Like I'd love to tell people, I guess, but like it's part of your job, like to keep those things to yourself. Like I would take that kind of seriously. Like there's probably things in your job that someone would look in and say, "Oh, how can you do that?" It's like I would just go share it with everybody, right? But you probably keep it to yourself or whatever or whatnot.
Yeah,
And
no, I personally, because I'm really like, you know, I think that it's a really bad thing to do to spill something that somebody told you in confidence. But
yeah,
I, I don't know.
but I think you
I've
do a
met
lot
enough
of like
therapists.
in therapy, and you probably do like some classes that like try to teach you ethics and stuff like that. So like they've probably done a lot of ethics classes to look at things, because when you do certain types of education, you tend to look at things
Ethics
differently.
classes. There are priests who are pedophiles. Like ethics classes. Oh yeah, I really trust them. They're so
No,
like there are people who will go up and preach morality and then do literally the worst thing a person can do to another person, to the most innocent of people. Like uh, I don't know. I think it's
I think they would at least try. I know
yeah.
you're coming from the more pessimistic approach, and like me, I always come from the more optimistic approach.
Yeah.
But you know what? It probably lands somewhere in between me and you, right?
No, I think that I'm right.
See, I'm even willing to compromise. You're just like, no, people are
No,
evil.
I'm not all people, right? I'm sure there are like one or two good therapists per continent, but I don't think that there's that many. Yeah, like we're putting faith in therapists that we used to put into priests, right? Like confessional. You go into the confession booth, you tell your sins, you say the things that are bothering you, and the priest, hope to God, doesn't tell anybody, right? But they had like God might send my soul to hell if I tell anyone, right? And they still would misbehave and do horrible stuff. Maybe they wouldn't tell your secrets. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure if there was like ever a mass thing where priests and people told other people's secrets, but I'm just saying, like, it doesn't seem to me to be a great, like a great super trustworthy group of people when you talk about like I guess can they go to jail? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Can they go to jail for talking about this stuff? Because maybe if you can go to jail, if there's actually something on the other end of it guaranteeing a person doesn't talk all kinds of crap or like doesn't like spill whatever their patient told them. I just can't imagine that therapists don't at least have another therapist that they're like, well, it's in confidence between the two of us that I tell you.
The therapist.
You know what I mean? Like, there's all these ways around these things that people use to tell the most salacious shit they've ever heard to other people. Sorry, I'm ranting. Well, let's get past this. Let's move on.
No, I think that it's like I'll say from my like own personal experience, like I'm not a perfect person. It's like I do some bad things sometimes, like, but in general I try to be good, right? Like I'm trying to do all the right things. Like, and if I was a therapist, I would keep it to myself or at least try. And sometimes maybe I slip up, but in general you're trying,
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
I hope that they try.
Yeah. It's like sometimes when you get like too stressed or you're overworked, then maybe some things start to slip. Like, you are human, right? Like, you don't do everything perfect all the time, and you kind of need like just a break sometimes. So I hope they get the breaks they need if they're feeling too stressed. Like with anybody
that's true
working,
too.
And
Yeah,
even
like
with dating.
I don't know that I would want them to have to keep every secret in the world constantly with no outlet to share their feelings about the feelings that were shared with them. Like, I don't even know if that's right.
Therapist.
Yeah, but see, that's not. But that, at the same time, that goes against the principle of what you were just.
It's just
of what we're doing, right? Circle of horse shit.
No, the therapist tells them, and then it goes into the circle and it comes back around. It's like maybe three. One tells two tells three, and then three tells one.
And then the world turns. I guess maybe we're narcissistic to think that anything we tell these people is actually all that crazy too, right? Like, it's like,
yeah,
anything I tell a therapist,
they've probably already heard.
Like, it's shitty, but they don't fucking.
I think they probably heard. They probably hear the same things over and over, so they kind of become desensitized to all these things. So they won't really have the urge to keep telling people these things because they hear it every day. So. Why?
Well, you think you got picked on, huh? And you feel blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's got to be hard not to slap people too. Just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, you can act like a man, go all Godfather on them. What's the matter with you? And like start shaking the person.
And I think they you know what, they need to just de-stress and stuff. And that's actually kind of like people who date therapists, like everyone gets stressed. So even the people at Bumble, they get stressed. So what are they doing? So in June, they're actually taking, and they did do this already. They took a week off. So this is more of a story of the pandemic. So as you work at home during the pandemic, there's surveys done, and people have typically worked more working at home than if they actually went to the office. So Bumble is actually doing a thing where they're giving everyone a paid week off so everyone can de-stress because everyone's working so hard like at home. What do you think about that?
I think that's a good thing to do. I think that companies should do that. I think that people probably do get pretty stressed out. I don't know what's so stressful about working at Bumble in particular.
No, it's not Bumble in particular. It's just
I gotta watch people get rejected all day.
It's just they're just one of the companies I'm using for example, just on our dating theme here.
You have no idea how out of your league that person was. Oh God, I need a day off. Give me a Xanax.
No, I think it's mostly the coders and people working on the thing, not actually looking at people's messages.
That makes sense. My idea then. Okay, what's the next? What is that it for our articles?
Yeah, that's kind of Okay,
are you gonna share any personal stories about girls with Teslas that you've dated?
No, I've never dated any girl that has a Tesla, but I would. So
maybe
if you're
that's
out there,
the problem.
I'm the essential element on Twitter. Hit me up. If you've got a Tesla, let's go
And
for
don't worry, if
long
you're a
drives
single
together.
girl, I'll never find you. I stay in my apartment. You're safe. It's fine.
In your opinion, what's the best dating app of all the ones you've used? Or which ones do you like?
You
Even
can't
not
ask
if
me that,
you
man. I suck when it comes to dating. Like nobody loves me.
no, but what
Like I
ones
don't
do you
know.
like for any
Like
reason? Like do you
well,
like, or do you feel like is the most effective as a man? Like, because I
I
know
feel
a lot
like
of them.
Tinder is fine because Tinder is free, and you just
Yeah,
swipe left or
well,
you
a lot of
swipe
them are
right, and
free.
it's very impersonal.
There's so many of them.
Um,
So there's Tinder, Bumble, there's Coffee Meets Bagel, there's
yeah, I've
Match,
used them
there's
all.
Clover,
I'm well
there's
versed in being rejected on all the apps.
yeah,
Um, and I would say it hurts least to be rejected on Tinder.
Tinder. It's funny.
Yeah.
It I find when I ask people who are in relationships or who are married, they'll say the best dating website is the one that they met their person on. So like I know Hubert, he's like, oh, he's like
Yeah.
POF is the
My
best.
cousin, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. My cousin met one of my cousins met his wife on Tinder, and they created some really beautiful kids. They have a good life, I think. I hope, anyway. I think they do.
Yeah, yeah, no, actually,
Um,
a lot of people that got
so,
married off Tinder.
yeah. Yeah. And I think that's great. Yeah. So maybe that's why I
No,
picked it
that's
because
just
I've
the kind
seen.
of the new way people meet now, right?
Yeah, I suppose it is. Yeah.
Especially right now with not being be able to actually have
Well, because
in person contact with people.
I've actually heard that this. Well, yeah, that's one thing too with COVID. But I've heard in other cultures and countries, people will be like, um, it's more common to be hit on or to hit on people in public. And then in like North America, for example, we've relegated that sphere of the human experience to sort of an online portal. It's like if you're interested in that, this is where you go. You can't
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that in
Well,
public or
it's
whatever.
kind of like going
And
to
maybe that's better. It probably is.
well, it's kind of
I
like
don't
going
know.
to a like say like a car show and meeting people there. It's like all those people like cars. It's kind of like the Tesla dating app. You go there because all
Oh
the
yeah,
people there
because
like Teslas. It's more
it's
that's
impossible to
that's
know if a person is single just by looking at them, I suppose. Well, it's
yeah.
not impossible, but there are. But a person could look single and not be. I mean, in real life, is
Yeah.
that what you mean? Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, go
so
on, go on. I feel like
I
I
guess
interrupted.
no, no, it's not interpreting anything about it. No, I feel like the for me, like I'm a single guy and I've kind of used all the dating websites as well. I've had the most luck, I guess, on Bumble, and I like that one because it's slightly more in favor of the guy. Because on every other website, the guy has to make first contact, the guy has to reach out, the guy has
Mhm.
to, and then girls kind of just cherry pick. Because basically, like I said, in the earlier article is 56% of swipes. So imagine if almost every swipe that you did would match you. That's insane to be a girl. As where a
Right.
guy you
Yeah.
swipe for like
If I
thousands
had
and you'll get one.
superpowers, maybe, or
Yeah,
I just
but
fucking took my life more
at
seriously.
least on
Anyway.
Bumble, the girl has to message you first, so it puts a little bit on her and more effort. So I feel like if a girl's gonna match with you, she has to message you first, and if she's gonna do that, she's gonna at least put in more effort than it would be on like Tinder, right? Where she'll match with every single guy, right? And then the guys
Yeah.
have to say something first.
Man, I worked on so many things to say first, like that I thought were funny and I guess weren't, or you just never know. Maybe they were. Maybe they did get a laugh. Maybe that was the problem.
Yeah,
Christ.
but it's funny. Like girls,
Just like a
I
graveyard
found
of pickup lines.
they hate if on Tinder they hate if you just say hey or hi. But on Bumble, I find every girl will just say hey or hi as their first message.
Yeah. Well, it's different for them, right? Like
Yeah.
expectations put on women are different. The way they are like sort of forced to live their lives if they want to have like a good life and respect from other people, it's different. It's just a little bit different than,
Yeah, it's just
quite a
more
bit different.
stacked in
Like,
their favor, and they have more choice.
well, it depends on the woman and it depends on how they're willing to go about living. Like, yes, if you do particular things, you have more choices in particular arenas. That's true. But I think that that's true. Well, it's not as true for men as it appears to be for women, from
Yeah,
my
just
perspective,
just on
anyway.
the
But
numbers of swipes that from that one article, it's just high. It seems even just at personal experience, it seems highly in their favor. As a
yeah,
guy.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah, but I mean, I think that if you flip the script, then it's a lot of gross people though trying to like. I've talked to you talk to girls about this kind of stuff, right? And they always say
Oh
like,
yeah,
guys just send me dick pics or they'll send
oh
me
yeah,
stuff that's like, like
that's funny.
just the
And
most disgusting shit you can think of,
so
right?
that
So
actually
it's
hinders your chances too, like as being like we're two decent guys, right? It's like they're
yeah.
gonna
So
expect all of
when we
that.
talk about like they got like 20,000 people like them, it's like kind of, but I mean, if they have sex with one of these guys, they get like a human being could come screaming out of their bodies, and it's like, I don't know, it's kind of I'm not going to say it's not slanted towards women. Women definitely get to make the choices when it comes to Tinder
Yeah,
and whatever else, I think, but it's not as crazy as we make it out to be sometimes.
it's still pretty crazy. Imagine if like I said, imagine if more than half of the time, every time you swiped, it's like you would log into the app and you would only have to swipe like 3 times, and you would have 2 out of 3 matches already.
Yeah, but
That's
I mean, you really don't think that, like Anthony, if you dedicated serious hours a day to looking a certain way, like just getting jacked and whatever else, you know what I mean? I'm sure, and you do pretty well on these apps anyway. So just like, you know what I mean? Like, do you show off your Tesla when you go on these apps? Do
no,
you
I've never done that.
like
No,
you could do the necessary things to get those swipes, right?
yeah,
And
but
it's still
also,
not the same. I know it's not the same, but
but
you
like
could.
it's also a numbers game too as well. Like you get 7%, right? So every 100 you'll get at least 7. So like, and then you gotta out of those 7, you gotta kind of weed out people that are not compatible with you. So it basically the more you can swipe, and that's where those paid tiers come in, where you can like swipe unlimited. Because if you can only do 100 a day, that's only 7%, and then you gotta out of those 7%, maybe 100% of those girls are not even compatible with you. So like
Yeah. Yeah.
in like it's basically just a numbers game. The more you can swipe, the more people you can meet and talk to, right?
I guess. I mean, yeah, that's true. There's no way to argue with that. That's the more
And
people that show an interest, the better your sort of pool of potential partners is, I suppose. Yeah.
yeah, and speaking of more people listening and talking to you and interacting with you, did you know we're up on all our platforms? So we're on Apple Podcasts,
Oh
Spotify,
no.
Podbean, YouTube. Our views are up 200 to 300% on each of them.
What a
So
disaster.
what do you mean? We're making it, man.
And making it. No,
We got a
people
lot
are
more.
going to know things about us.
People are reaching out to
I'm
me
in
and
this for
saying
the Halo. God damn it. I don't want to be famous.
people are saying
I
we're
just
doing a
want to
good
play
job, and they're
Halo.
saying the sound quality is very
Yeah,
nice.
the sound quality is dynamite. Sound quality is dynamite. Thanks
They
to
sa-
Steinbug.
they think we sound legit, so that's awesome. And I
We
want to
do
thank
sound
everybody
legit.
for listening and all that. Keep
Is the
listening.
episode over?
No, yeah, we can come. We can come to. We're coming to an hour, so I guess we can kind of wrap it up.
Couldn't we just do a 6-hour Canada Day special?
We got a plan for that. We'll do that.
Yeah, okay. We'll do next year. We'll do a 6-hour Canada Day special, and we'll bring on some.
Don't quote us on that. Yeah. Next
Well,
Canada
yeah,
Day, we'll have
we'll
Justin
bring on-
Bieber and Wayne Gretzky. They'll be hanging out here. We'll get Shania Twain in the back.
Yeah, Shania in the back. Shania Twain stands in the back. For
You're
who?
just standing over there by the
What?
plant.
Yeah, Shania Twain does not stand in the back. Like Shania Twain is up front and center, yo. You know, yeah. You take that back, Element.
Yeah.
Shania
All right,
Twain
I
is
guess
not standing in the back.
we're gonna wrap it up now. Yeah, like I
Right.
said, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, Podbean, YouTube. If you just search everything with Millennials Podcast, will come up. I just want to thank everyone for listening from the past episodes. I had someone actually tell me they listened to all 4 in a row.
Oh, really? Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and don't forget, people, if you want to sponsor us, get some money.
Just
get
throw it in
to
the air.
Top, throw it in the air. Hopefully, if you can, it's the summertime where we are. So hopefully you can get to like a roller coaster nearby. Hopefully you live near Wonderland or in the West Edmonton Mall. And you just throw that money right in the air. And we're going to get it. It'll come to us.
All right, see you guys. Have a happy
Bye.
Canada Day. We'll see you next week.
Bye.